Hello and namaste. I am Archana Raghuram and welcome back to Temples, Books and Science. I am excited to continue our exploration of the Lalitasahasranamam. In the last video, I mentioned that I have started a new playlist called the Lalitasahasranamam in Bites, where I explain the text in smaller chunks, focusing on one name at a time. You might be wondering why I have two playlists for the same text. I first started exploring the hymn with my series Lalitasahasranamam Explained. In this series, I create longer videos where I delve deeper into specific groups of names. While these names have standalone meanings, they also reveal profound philosophical implications when considered together. This format is perfect for those who really want to understand the interconnectedness of the names and their deeper significance. However, I received feedback from many subscribers that these videos are a bit too long and heavy. So to make the Lalita Sahasranamam more accessible to everyone, I created Lalita Sahasranamam in Bites. This playlist offers bite-sized videos, each focusing on a single name, perfect for those who want to quickly grasp the beauty and meaning of the names, even if they have a busy schedule. Essentially, each playlist serves a different purpose and caters to different interests and learning styles. I encourage you to explore both and find the format that resonates with you the most. In this video, we will delve into three powerful names from the Lalita Sahasranamam, which are also deeply interconnected: Shiva Kameshwarankasta, Shiva, and Swadhina Vallabha. Before explaining these three names, I want to explain the philosophical underpinnings of Shiva and Shakti, which are essential for understanding these names. First, let's explore the three fundamental aspects of Brahman: Sat, Chit, and Ananda. We'll begin with how Brahman is described in the Upanishads. According to Advaita Vedanta, Brahman is the only real thing. It's the only thing that truly exists. Everything else is an illusion. So, if Brahman is the only thing that exists, it must be present everywhere, isn't it? But where exactly is it? There is a famous analogy in Vedanta to explain the relationship between Brahman and the manifest universe: a dream. Think of a dream. Every object in the dream arises from your consciousness. Yet none of them are your consciousness. A flower in your dream may not look like consciousness, but it is made up entirely of your consciousness and it exists because of your consciousness. Vedanta describes this principle of existence as Sat. This whole universe is pervaded by Brahman as existence. Just as your consciousness pervades every object in your dream as its very existence. We generally think of existence as a property of an object. A flower exists, the earth exists, a pot exists, etc. Vedanta flips this view on its head, saying existence is the real thing and the objects that we see are transient and illusionary property of that pure existence. This property of Brahman is Sat. But Brahman is more than just existence. It is also pure awareness, the knowing principle that illuminates all of existence. This pure awareness is called Chit. We generally think that consciousness is limited to certain living beings only. Vedanta says that Chit or awareness is a fundamental property of the universe. Just as the sun illuminates the world with its light, Chit illuminates the universe with awareness. And finally, Brahman is Ananda or bliss. This is the inherent bliss, the pure joy that resides within each of us. It's not the fleeting happiness derived from external objects or experiences, but the ever-present joy that is our true nature. Ananda is the source of all beauty and attraction. When we experience beauty in a flower, a piece of art, or a kind act, we are connecting with the Ananda that pervades all of creation. Ananda is the state of complete fulfillment, where there is no sense of lack or incompleteness. It's the ultimate goal of spiritual practice, the realization of our true nature as pure bliss. So, these are the three characteristics of Brahman: Sat, Chit, Ananda. The Puranas use a different terminology to describe these three attributes of Brahman. Sat, Chit, Ananda is described as Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram in our Puranas. Satyam, meaning truth, reflects the unchanging reality of Brahman, the only truly existent principle in the universe. Shivam, often translated as auspiciousness, represents the pure awareness, the witness consciousness, the Sakshi Tattvam that pervades all of existence. And Sundaram, meaning beauty, embodies the bliss aspect of Brahman, the inherent joy and perfection that underlies all creation. If you recall, we saw in the name Mahalavanya Shevadi that the great beauty of Goddess represents Brahmananda, Brahman's Ananda. This isn't just an innovative interpretation. It's deeply rooted in the understanding that Ananda, the bliss of Brahman, is synonymous to Sundaram or beauty in the Puranas. We have explored the three essential qualities of Brahman: Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, or Sat Chit Ananda. Now, let's see how these qualities manifest in the dynamic interplay of Shiva and Shakti. First, there is Brahman as the pure, undifferentiated consciousness that exists even when the universe does not exist. It is ever-present awareness and bliss. This unchanging, ever-present awareness is called Shiva. But how does this universe arise from this seemingly static state? It begins with a spark of desire within Shiva. This desire is called Adi Shakti. I have explained this Adi Shakti in detail when I elaborated the 49th name, Sarvaruna. This initial impulse, this first vibration that is the cause of the universe, has many names. It is called Adi Shakti, the primordial power that gave rise to the universe. It is also called the power of desire, Ichcha Shakti, or it is simply called Kama, which means desire. Imagine a still, silent ocean of pure consciousness. Suddenly, a wave arises, a ripple of desire that sets the entire ocean in motion. This is Kama, the creative impulse that gives rise to the universe. So, Kama is the name of Brahman when it is in the state of desiring creation. Once Kama arises in Shiva, the cycle of creation is set in motion. The universe is created, sustained, and destroyed. This very same Brahman, as the creator, sustainer, and destroyer of the universe, is called Ishvara, or God as we commonly understand it. To depict this dynamic interplay of Brahman as both the unmanifest pure witness consciousness and the active creator, our Puranas depict Brahman as the male principle or Shiva and his power to create, sustain, and destroy as the female principle Shakti. But it's crucial to remember that Shiva and Shakti are not separate entities. They are two sides of the same coin, inseparable aspects of one indivisible Brahman. Just as we wouldn't say me and my thoughts are two different beings, Shiva and Shakti are not two distinct entities. They are one and the same. So, while the Puranas depict Shiva and Shakti as distinct principles, they are ultimately inseparable, like two sides of the same coin. Understanding this unity is crucial to grasping the essence of Lalitasahasranamam, especially the names we are about to explore. This profound unity of Shiva and Shakti is beautifully illustrated in the 52nd name, Shiva Kameshwarankasta, which can literally be translated to she who is seated on Shiva Kameshwara's lap. At the first glance, you might wonder why Shiva's name seems to be repeated twice in this name, Shiva and Kameshwara. Actually, it's not two names but three, Shiva, Kama, and Ishvara, which are three states of Brahman as we discussed earlier. To fully understand this, we can break down the name into three parts, Shivankasta, Kamankasta, and Ishvarankasta. This name, Shivakameshwarankastha, beautifully encapsulates the goddess's presence in all three aspects of Brahman. As Shiva, the pure consciousness, as Kama, the desire that fuels creation, and as Ishvara, the active creator of the universe. When Brahman is Shiva, the undifferentiated, all pervading awareness, she is in him. When the desire arises in Brahman to create the universe, she manifests as Kama or Icha Shakti. She is seated on his lap. And when he creates, sustains, and destroys the universe, she is seated on him as his power of creation, sustenance, and destruction. The imagery of the goddess being seated on him signifies her power and agency. It's not a passive position, but one that indicates her active role in guiding and directing the creative forces of the universe. It is Shakti who empowers Shiva, who provides impetus for creation, sustenance, and dissolution. This name beautifully illustrates Shakti's omnipresence and her active role as the dynamic force that empowers Shiva and drives the cosmic dance of creation, sustenance, and dissolution. Now we move to the 53rd name, Shiva. The name Shiva, pronounced with a long R sound, yes, the same name we usually associate with the masculine principle. This might seem surprising, but it's a powerful reminder that these two are not separate entities, but two aspects of one divine reality. This name, Shiva, means she who is the personification of Shiva. Brahman, the consciousness principle itself, has no gender. But to express different aspects of the divine, we use both masculine and feminine forms of names. All of Shiva's names have their feminine counterparts, like Shankara, Shankari, Bhava, Bhavani. Similarly, Shiva is the masculine form and Shiva is the feminine form of the same name. This name, Shiva, powerfully declares that Goddess is Shiva. It's not just a symbolic association, it's a statement of their inherent unity and non-difference. Many verses in the Puranas and Upanishads emphatically reiterate their oneness. For instance, one verse states, Sadakara Sadananda Samsara Chedakarini Sa Shiva Parama Devi Shiva Binna Shivankari. Her form is Sat, existence. Her nature is permanent Ananda, bliss. She is Shiva, the greatest goddess, who is non-different from Shiva, and she is the cause of all auspiciousness. This verse essentially says that she is Satchit Ananda, the very embodiment of Brahman. The great poet Kalidasa captures their oneness beautifully in Kumara Sambhavam. Vagartaviva sampruptau vagartav pratipattaye jagatav pitarau vande Parvati Parameshwarau. I salute to the divine couple Parvati and Parameshwara, the parents of the world, who are inseparable like a word and its meaning. The 53rd name, Shiva, highlights the goddess Lalita's status as not just the consort of Shiva, but as the embodiment of his power and consciousness. By recognizing the goddess as Shiva, we acknowledge the inherent unity and interdependence of these seemingly distinct forces. This concept also has significant philosophical implications. It suggests that reality is not a dualistic construct but a unified whole, Advaita, with the masculine and feminine principles representing complementary aspects of this unity. The goddess as Shiva embodies the dynamic force of creation and manifestation, while Shiva represents the unchanging ground of reality. Their union symbolizes the complete and harmonious expression of the divine. By meditating on this name, we can cultivate a deeper understanding of our own true nature, recognizing the harmonious interplay of Shiva and Shakti within ourselves. Now let's move to the 54th name, Swadhina Vallabha. The literal translation of this name is she whose beloved is under her control or she whose husband obeys her. At first glance, this might seem to suggest that Shakti dominates Shiva, which might contradict the idea of their unity that we have been exploring. But is that really what this name is saying? Is it suggesting a power struggle between Shiva and Shakti? To understand this name fully, we need to go beyond the literal translation and delve into its deeper meaning. The word Swadhina has multiple meanings. In this context, it also means independent or self-governing. It suggests that Shakti has her own power and agency, not derived from or dependent on Shiva. Vallabha means beloved or husband. It refers to Shiva. When we combine these meanings, the name Swadhina Vallabha suggests that Shakti is the independent power of Shiva. She is not separate from him, but she is not subordinate to him either. They are one, but she has her own distinct role and expression within that unity. She is not controlled by him. She is her own power, her own being. She is the independent Shakti of Shiva. To fully grasp the nuance of this name, we need to dive deep into Vedanta, exploring the intricate relationship between the unmanifest and the manifest, between Sakshi Chaitanyam, the witness consciousness, and Maya Shakti. But for now, let's simply appreciate the profound implication of this name. Shakti, though eternally united with Shiva, retains her own independent power and agency. This concept is beautifully illustrated in various depictions of Shiva and Shakti. In a striking depiction, Kali, the fierce form of Shakti, stands triumphant over Shiva, who seems to be lying dead at her feet. This is Smashana Kali, the Kali at the time of Pralayam, when the entire universe has dissolved. She wears a garland of heads and hands, which represent the seeds of the next creation. She is the dynamic energy that gives rise to a new universe. All the potential for the new universe is within her. Her foot is planted on Shiva's chest, but this isn't about dominance. It symbolizes a profound truth. Shiva cannot function without Shakti. He is a Shava, a corpse without her. At the same time, she can function only if she is established in Shiva. Her foot firmly planted on his chest signifies that he is the ground from which the new universe will emerge. He provides the stable foundation for her dynamic creative power. Think of it like this. The sun cannot shine without its light, nor can fire exist without its heat. Similarly, Shiva cannot function without Shakti. She is his inherent power, his Swadhina Vallabha, the very source of his ability to create, sustain, and dissolve the universe. Just as sunlight is inseparable from the sun, yet radiates outwards with its own brilliance, Shakti is inseparable from Shiva, yet expresses herself as the dynamic force of creation. This name reminds us that Shakti is not subordinate to Shiva, but rather his equal and inseparable counterpart. She is the dynamic force that drives creation, the very essence of his power. Recognizing this empowers us to connect with our own inner Shakti, the source of our creativity, strength, and potential. These three names, Shiva Kameshwarankastha, Shiva, and Swadhina Vallabha, offer a profound glimpse into the dynamic interplay of Shiva and Shakti. By contemplating these names, we can move beyond the limitations of duality and recognize the inherent unity that underlies all existence. And now, as we continue our journey through the Lalitasahasranamam, we are about to enter a realm of exquisite beauty and divine splendor. The next 7 names, starting with Sumeru Madhya Shringastha and culminating in Sudhasagara Madhyastha, paint a breathtaking picture of the goddess's abode, a realm of cosmic wonders and spiritual significance. Join me in the next video as we explore these names and discover the secrets of the goddess's divine dwelling.